We're holding two dots, about 10 lines up, 12 lines. Barosh Nosi. It says they take the Efer Makle, they put it on the Aron Kodesh in the street, the Aron in the street. They call it the Teva in the street. And they put it on the Rosh Nosi and the Av Bezdin. Voditoni, and then it says, Kol echod ve'echod, note of the Nosi Barosh. Each person takes the Efer Makle, puts it on his own head. There's a question, what? If you take a look at Tosas, which I never understood this Tosas, he says, V'oso Efer, havi me'etzem odom. Here, the ash is from what? From burnt bone, human bone. Human. Sharei Efer havi zikoran ha'akedo, u'ba'akedo ho'yatzomus. That's almost, but it's an animal. But you're not permitted to benefit from it. I mean, what do you get? What do you burn? You're not permitted to burn a bone of a human being. I mean, you're disgracing the dead. So how is it possible they find the bone? What, the ash of a bone that was burnt? Never understood it. I have to look maybe in this Osvahoder Shas, where you have all the commentary in the back to understand how is it possible. Because you're not permitted to benefit from the remains of a human being, unless somebody was burnt, and then they find the ash of that. Therefore, still, it's like taking the ash from Auschwitz and using it to, I don't know. Okay. Zini votinan. No, you have to bury those ashes. Definitely, it represents the. That's not it has nothing to do with matame. It's covered a mess. It's covered a mess. No, it has no. It's not matame. It's not matame. It's Zini. Votinan or vatanyo. Rabbi Yomi Bigdula Maschil Min HaGodel B'Klo Maschil Min HaKoten. When we speak about a claim, acknowledging someone, something positive, you start from the greater person, you work to the lower. When you speak about disgracing or cursing, even though they all deserve to be cursed, you start cursing from the lesser to the greater, as we'll explain. B'Klo Maschil Min HaKoten Bigdula Maschil Min HaGodel Shnemar V'Yomim Moshe El Aaron Ve'Loser Lisomer. When Moshe taught Torah, it says he's first taught it to Aaron, right? Then Elazar, then Isomer. Ubeklolo, but when it came to the curse, when they ate of the Eitz Hadas, Odom and Chava ate the Eitz Hadas, so how many people were culpable? You had the Nochosh, you had Chava, and you had Odom. Baschil min hakoten, Dom Amar, Betchil niskal Nochosh, Vakach niskal lo Chavo, Vakach niskal lo Odom. So more says, Ho chashivus the two. Yeah? He says that we put the ash on the Nasi's head, we start, even though he's feeling disgraced, he's humbled, but that is the chashivus, because we're acknowledging him. Why? Because you're the most special of all of us. You're the one who represents us. You have to ask. You have to pray more strongly, because your tefillah is valued to a greater degree than our tefillah. That's the reason why you begin to acknowledge that his tefillah is greater. So although it's disgrace, we'll see in a moment why. Because we deduce from the Mishnah, the Nasi and the Av Bezdin, you put it on their head. Everybody else puts it on their own head. So the Gemara's going to ask in a moment, why can't they put it on their own heads? Either everybody should have it put on their heads, or everybody should put it on their own heads. So we'll see in a moment. Kolech v'echad notel v'nosi b'rosho. Omer avado, kolech v'echad notel v'nosi b'rosho. Nosi v'Av Bezdin, nami nishklu. Just as everyone takes ash and puts it on their own head, why did Nasi and the Av Bezdin, why don't they also put it on their own head? Why does somebody else have to put it on their head? Right? Nami nishkelu. Inu v'nintchu b'rishayu. Ma'ishno d'shokalinish achrino o monachlu. Why does somebody else put the ash on their head? Omra baba o demin kesri. Eino dom mizbayish mi'atzmo lemizbayish mi'acherim. Yeah? Which means you cannot compare. If I want to embarrass myself, it's one level of embarrassment. If somebody else embarrasses a person, it's much greater. That's the reason why kriya, somebody else does the kriya, because it makes it's more impactful on the person. Like somebody's tearing your garment to indicate whatever that is. If you do, a person does it himself, it's not the same. So over here, it's something interesting. Rashi says, Dika agbas nefesh tfeik. The key is we're saying because the chashivi, that tefillah is more important. Umishum, listen to this. Mishum chashivusam heimis baishim me'acherim. He says, so, let everybody else. Let's see if a person's the wandering guy. Somebody goes and does something. There's no great busha, because there's nothing to pride myself about. But these people are truly people of status. When somebody else goes and does something which is belittling or disgraceful, therefore the embarrassment, the shame is greater. That's what he says. Therefore it's enough. The difference doesn't make that much of a difference. A person of special status, it makes a difference. If he does it himself, and that difference makes the difference. Somebody else, it's such a negligible difference, doesn't make a difference. Therefore we put it on themselves. Okay? The Gemara says, where do you put the ash? So Rashi says, Shenema losum la'aveli tzion loslim pe'er tachas sefer. Pe'er is tefillin referred to as pe'er. It's the ornament. So you put the pe'er where the afer is. Yeah, but that's, the Gemara's not saying it. You're saying it. You put the pe'er tachas sefer. Yeah, same letters. So Rashi says, Shmami de boku tefillin d'chsibu pe'er chochov v'shalecho v'arminon tefillin. Where do you put it? You know, a newborn child, where the skull meets, that area there's like an indentation, that's soft. A newborn baby. Eventually it comes together a little, but there's an indentation there. That's where the tefillin. So he put the ash by chosin under the chuppah. When he puts the ash, he also puts it in a zeichel migdosh for the churban. He put it there too, the ash. Now, why do you put the Aruch Kodesh in the street? Lama yotzen l'rechov. Reb Chia bar Abba Omar, Loma za'aknu b'tzinov lo nenenu. We say as things go from bad to worse. Originally, the first fasts were the first 6 were in the shul. Now we take the last 7 out into the street. We put the Aruch Kodesh in the street. So we're actually saying Hakadosh Baruch Hu za'aknu b'tzinov lo nenenu. We cried out in concealment. Hashem didn't respond. Now we're going to disgrace ourselves, even in public, right? And maybe he'll answer us. Because when you go from one location to another, you're being displaced. That's golus. Golus is mechaper, is an atonement. So that's what it is. It's not because bozinu, it's golus. So the Gemara says, my being now, what's the difference whether it's a question of disgrace or it's a question of what? Of golus, of being displacement. It says, if it's a question of disgrace, so if let's say you go from one base knesset to another shul, it's still in private. There's no disgrace. It's not done public. But if it's a question of displacement, I'm being displaced. I'm displaced. I left my shul to go to another shul. So therefore, there it would be just as good. It would be enough to bring that about. Omer Rabbi Yeshuv and Levi, Lomar Klitzanu Ahoyo Lonu. We had this very delicate, special type of vessel, and we kept it under wraps. Something, a person has diamonds. Do you display them? You want to say keep it. It's not for everybody to see, right? It's Klitzanua. Because of its specialness, you want it to be concealed. But unfortunately, now we have to disgrace it because of our sins. We're taking it out in the street. And why do they cover their skin, their flesh with sackcloth? It says, now when you have to cover an animal, what's the quality of the cloth? Sackcloth you put on the animal. Right? We've become like animals. What do you put the ash on top of the Aruch Kodesh? Just as the person, when he's in a state of grieving, he puts ash on himself. HaKadosh to symbolize when we're suffering, HaKadosh Baruch Hu suffers with us. Okay? There was a maral I just did. But what do you look? You're pointing with your finger. So there's a maral. The Gvur Hashem just did it the other day. It's the one that Howard wasn't there for. It's past Wednesday. So he said something phenomenal. No, not Howard. The Maral says something phenomenal. So the Maral says, you find that the Gemara says in Chagiga that there's no bechia by a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't cry. The Gemara says, what do you mean? That's quotes. It says there is bechia. So the Gemara says that is boti gavoy boti baroi. There's the inner chambers and there's the outer chambers. In the outer chambers, there's no bechia. There's no crying. In the boti gavoy, in the inner chambers, God cries. So, what God cries? First, what does it mean? The inner or the outer? What does it mean? Firstly, the whole concept of change. If something is complete in the absolute sense, crying means that's an emotion. That means there's a change, right? You're being affected. So the Maharal says people say things which are totally unacceptable. And he says, and they ask on Chazal, how did Chazal say such a thing? God cries. So he says, what are you asking for Chazal? It's a pasuk in the Torah. It says, by the Mabul, before Hashem destroyed the world, it says, Vayisatzi v'libo. Right? He was saddened. I mean, so the same, is it possible to say sadness by Hashem? So it's a pasuk. Here these people are criticizing Chazal. It's a pasuk. He cites another pasuk. So he says something phenomenal. He says, the way he gives an example like this. It says, after the Churban, Tabayas, there's no bracha in the world. Blessing is not here. After Churban, Tabayas. Why? Because Hashem removed himself. He says, you look at physical existence. Things are thriving. He says, I gave an example. You have a California redwood, right? Looks like the tree is so sturdy and it's all hollowed out. It's all rotted inside. What do you see? You only see the outside. Do you know what the essence is? What is the essence of existence? It's the Kedusha, which exists with it. It's within. What the average person sees, you don't see that. We only see the external. We don't see the essence of what it is. Right? So therefore, what we see, we don't see the reality. So therefore, that's firstly, he says. So therefore, the world itself is really, is failing, is lagging. Because if you evaluate based on the Kedusha, which is the essence of what the world is, it's very low. It's very, very minimal. Then he says like this. He gives an example. He says, could you compare the Tachtonim to the Elyonim? Could you compare a human being to an angel? Angel has a greater capacity. We believe in God. The angel also believes, sees God. The capacity of the angels is it our capacity? We have a limited capacity, right? The angel capacity is much greater, and because we have less of a we have limited capacity. No, in our value, it's greater. But in terms of what he sees much more. He sees much more. But because of our limitation, we understand. We see much less. We see much less, right? Because we're exposed. It's a different realm of existence. So he says, so the example I gave, if you have a cup which has capacity to put an ounce in, you could have endless amount of material to put in that cup. It's not going to go because it has limited capacity. But let's say you have a very large cup, and it has capacity to take more, but for whatever reason, you can't put it in there. So the cup is really very low. So the person, let's say the person who has the cup, if you have an ounce cup, it's filled to the top, it's filled to the top. This cup is nearly empty. A person, right, so meaning like this, when we perceive things, we perceive it very superficially, externally. But a person in his essence, it's the way we see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's the way we see God. What does God want? God wants us to maximize our potential. That's what Hashem wants. God wants us to maximize potential. So when we fail, how do we see God? He's disappointed. It's not God himself. There's no change in God. How we perceive God. So does God want to destroy the world? Of course not. God wants the world to thrive, which was the original intent of creation. It should reach a status of shleimus, of perfection. So when it doesn't, so the way we perceive him, that's our perception. Lefonav is hod v'hodav v'simcha. What he is. There's no change in him. It's the same thing. That's the b'chi bati gavai. What we see, we don't see it. But do we know he's disappointed? Of course he's disappointed. He's crying. But again, because since the objective of creation is not being met, that's called bati gavoi. That's in his inner chambers. He's crying. But what does the world know? The world knows nothing. The world sees everything is perfect. It's because it's all external, superficial. That's the moral. So we say over here, he's not crying. Because we haven't met his expectation. So when you see, it's like a child who loves a parent and the child sees he disappointed the parent. So the child is pained. Sometimes the child is pained to a greater degree than the what's his name? Then the parent is disappointed. Because the child feels he's failed. He's failed the parent. He hasn't met the parent's approval. It's that kind of thing. Okay? Saying, just quoting another pasuk. Hear this? Reb Zer said the first time he saw the Chachamim putting ash on the Aron Kodesh, mizdazi likud gufoy. Yeah, he was like shaken up. You know, at the first, you never saw it before. When you see such a thing, it shakes you up. This is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're putting ash on him. He was shaken up. Yeah. There's an argument. What do you put on each individual said? With nothing. We're ash, like we're nothing. We're worthless. Yeah, to remember Akedis Yitzchok. So if you say it's bone, like where Tosas brings, it's the ash of a burnt human bone, right? That's Tosas before, right? So okay, that's Afro Shel Yitzchok. That's what we specific. It's not just ordinary ash. It's the ash from a bone, a human bone that was burnt. My beinayu, ika beinayu, afastam. Right? If it were nothing, so if it would be regular, dirt. It'd be the same thing, right? But if it's afro shel yitzchok, then it has to be ash. 1 second. Yeah. I think what it says, offer stam, because Rashi said at the beginning of the Sugya, we find that offer and afer are interchangeable. Yes. I think what it means, afer stam can mean ordinary ash. It doesn't have to be ash made from a bone. That's what he means. Okay? Lo miyotza b'sak voros. It says in the Mishnah, they go out to the cemetery. What do you go into the cemetery? Pligibor, Reb Lev, Barchom, Reb Chanecharo, Mahareinu, and Onu Chashum Fenech Kamesin. We're like corpses. If it's a question that the dead should be vakish rachmim, so if that's the case, what is a goy? You don't go to a non-Jewish cemetery, right? But if it's the other way, okay. You see, it's difficult. I mean, the famous Mishnah Berurah, when you go to a grave, do you pray to the dead? Or do you pray? But from the Loshen of the Gemara, no. That's Mishnah Berurah doesn't say that. When you pray to Hashem, you say, in the schus of the tzaddik who's buried there, in his schus you should answer me. The mess is not being vakish anything. That's called Dorish El HaMesim, the Chofetz Chaim says. But the Loshen is, Kedei Shivakshu, Aleinu, Mesim Rachim, Dem Vakish Rachim. I once asked Rav Shlomo Shveder many years ago, I mean, it says by the Meraglim, the Kolev, he went to Hebron. He was Mishtach Yech al Kibri, obviously, take a look at Chazal, he has to go pray for him. That they should. So they're acting on his behalf. So why isn't that Dorish El HaMesim? He didn't give me an answer. It's explicit, but there's the Loshanuk. The Shivakshu Aleinu Rachmim, Aleinu Mesim Rachmim. Right? So see? No, I understand. Yeah, they're going for the person. The Mesim are themselves in Vakish Rachmin. That's what you see over here. I don't because of the Chofetz Chaim. I'm very careful. I'm to go ask the mess to be misfal for you. I might have in mind that the schus of the person who's lying in his schus, we should have rachmim. That's what the Chofetz Chaim says. That's what you should have in mind. Right. He says this in Hilchos Tisha B'Av. says that the minute on Tisha B'Av you go to Beis HaKvoros. So over there he says, and what should you say when you mispal by the Kvoros? The schus of the person, the tzaddik should nitman kan, HaKadosh Baruch should have rachmim. Right, he's not acting on your behalf. So a person before he dies, it's not the Gemara says in the end of Shabbos that the neshama only ascends after the stimas hagolim, after the grave is closed. So therefore, yes, the neshama should be made l'tziosha. There he's speaking to the person. He's not considered detached from this world yet. So it's not dorish al hamesim, right? So therefore, it's good. But once the person's buried, it's over. Especially after the Gemara says the neshama doesn't come back. Doesn't come back. Yeah, this Beis HaKvoros. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Shivak shaleinu rachmin. No, if it's a Jewish cemetery, they have schus. People who are buried, they have schusim. Right? There's aloch, there's famous Chukas Chasam Sofer. It's ruled aloch. Person commits suicide, and it's clearly, and it can be confirmed that he was rational. So he can't be buried in the cemetery. What happens after Yud Beis Chodesh? He can be put back in the. He can bring him back. Because after Yud Beis Chodesh, everybody's taking. Unless he's ein lo chilul mabo, he comes out of Gehenna. So therefore, you can put him back in the cemetery. Okay. My haram. I mean, Rashi's why Kivri Yaakov Afilu alatzman leko kolshkim aleinu. They can't help themselves. They can help us. No, that's by goyim. Yeah. Good. No, so therefore they can ask for us. Right, that's nafkamin. Because otherwise there's no nafkamin la alocha. It says if it's Hanrei Kamesim, you go to a Goyish cemetery. Even if it's a Jewish cemetery, it makes no difference.
If it's not a Rav Shachami,
then you can even go to a Goyish cemetery. Hareinu Kamesim, we should feel like we're going to be there someday. They think, he says they can't help themselves. They can't help them. They're going to help you. Right. Right. 100. So now to go Hara Maria. My Hara Maria. Pligi bo Reb Levi bar Chum Reb Chancharo Har Shiyotzim in Horo. Hara Maria Horo. Li Yisrael. Right. Where was the Sanhedrin? Lishkas Agozis. Hara Maria. Torah Lisho ki Mitzia Teitzi Soro. Yor Mishtech Liyakov. Lishkas Agozis. Shebo Omdu HaNeviim HaMochichim Yisrael. He says a Chiddush. Here Rashi. V'Lishkas Agozis. Shebo Omdu HaNeviim HaMochichim Yisrael. First of all, what does the Chocha have to do with Lishkas Agozis? Lishkas Agozis was the Mokum Sanhedrin. Shebo Yotza Horo. So that's good. The first thing, Kivitzin Tesis Sora, Yor Mishpacha Liyakov, V'Lishkas Agozis. No, he says Shebo Omdu HaNeviim HaMochichim. Unless maybe they were part of Sanhedrin. Maybe they're part of Sanhedrin. It doesn't say the Tuchocha came from there. Omdu, they were there. Vov. What's the Vov? I don't know. Vov. Okay, he brings a shot from Rabbeinu Gershom here. See, the Rabbeinu Gershom says, "Ishkin Yoshvin Sanhedrin Blishkas Agozis more in Horos." Okay. Let's go further. Charomar Hosh Yotzimeno Mora Lovdi Kochovim. Why Shishom Gedolos Yisrael V'Yushalayim U'Mispachtin Aleim Shomati Lishna Achrino Har Maria Har Sinai Mora Lovdi Kochovim Man Torah Eretz Ureya V'Shoketa. Right, it says the world trembled, quaked. That's Har Yotzimeno Mora Lovdi. Even though the Gemara says in what's named differently, the Gemara says in Shabbos that. Why is it called Har Sinai? Because Hashem offered the Torah to the Goyim and they rejected it. That's going to be the condemnation at the end of time, because they rejected the Torah. Okay? Hazokish be'omer l'fneim divrei kvushim. Right? He says over divrei kvushim. Torah Rabbanon, im yesh zokein omer zokein. If there's a person who's a zokein, he gives the musar. V'im lavo mechochem, v'im lavo me'odom shel tzura. Otu zokein, the kamar, avagavet lav chochemu. Right? Isn't he? Avagavet lav chochemu. Omer Abayi hoching im yesh zokein vu chochem omer zokein. Vu chochem. V'im lavo mechochem. V'im lavo me'od. So an ordinary zokein doesn't say it, right? No, Zogin Chocham. If not that, it's Chocham alone. If not, Odom Shel Tzura. Achinu Losak V'Tainis Gormim Eluchuv Masim Tovim Gormim. Shchem Otzin Banchi Nidvei Shlonem Behem V'Yara Elokim Esakav V'Tanisom El V'Yara Elokim Es Maseim Shavim B'Dakem Aro. Iskasu Sakim Ha'odom HaBehemo. Mai Avdi. What did they do? It says they covered them with sack, man and the animal. Ashi HaBehemis Luchud V'Slavod Luchud. Hear this? They separated the animals from their calves. Why? A funny thing. You don't have rachmanis on us, we're not going to have rachmanis. The mother wants to nurse its offspring, and the offspring wants to go to its mother. We're not allowing it. We're acting as you're acting, chas v'shem, cruel to us, but we don't use the word cruel. Im einatum rach klomar kshem shat omer l'rachim al elu dichsiv rachma v'kol masov keit rachim aleinu. Okay, strong words. It's like almost like taking you're sparring with Hashem. See Tosas, the Gemara over here doesn't speak about Tisha B'av. Tosas himself, that's the Ramah. Yotzel beis hakvaros mikan noagim b'chol mokum leil beis hakvaros b'Tisha B'av shrei Tisha B'av harei tainis sibur. I mean, the Gemara says the only tiny sibur ain't. The Gemara says ain't tiny sibur b'Bavel. In Bavel there was no tiny sibur, right? Only Tisha B'av. So good. So therefore, whatever they did for tiny sibur, which we don't have, that we do on Tisha B'av. So we go to Beis HaKvoros. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, further. V'yikru Elokim b'chazok my omer the fun of Ribon shel olam olov she'eno olov she'eno olov tzadik v'rosh miditchem ne'mi mi habi tzadik m'nei rosha Achi nidvei dichsiv b'chazok. It says they prayed with strength. The mashma b'koach v'nitzuach din, like with a certainty, with a confidence. Minitchem havi tzadik m'nei rosha. So what does that have to do with Ninveh? They were showing they weren't tzaddikim. Yeah, afterwards, no, but it says no. This is when they prayed. V'yeshuvu ish midaka rob min hachomes shebekapei mayim hachomes shebekapei mom yishmol afil gezul meirish ubana bebiro makakei kol abiro kulo machzim. Meirish l'balov, right? The halacha is that shinechos l'brioso. When you steal something, you alter it, right? So the halacha is. So let's say you take no, you do give it back. It's not a change. It's not a change. Shinechos l'brioso, something that could be reverted back to its original state. You don't. It's not a shinech. So a person steals a beam, builds himself a mansion, and the ceiling cost him. This is the supporting beam. You got to destroy the house. Wait a second. Why don't you take it back?
He wouldn't do tshuva otherwise.
Wait, but that's rabbinical. On a Torah level, you have to dismantle the house. There was takonis meirish because people won't do tshuva. The Chazal say, in this case, he doesn't have to dismantle the house. You just pay value, right? But you see how difficult it is. Because otherwise they're not. There, when they did tshuva, even though there's no takona, they destroyed their houses. Even if a person stole a meirish, they went all the way. Even though there was a cost factor, tremendous destruction, didn't make a difference. They did tshuva, no nonsense, all the way. That's what they did. Yeshuvish that's meirish. I feel gozel meirish bir makakeh kol abiro kulo umachzi meirish lebalov. Omer avad barava odem sheish biyodo avero misvade in a chosebo. Very famous Gemara. Person has an avero umisvade, and he says vidui ve'enu chosebo, but it's not a full tshuva. Yeah, meaning there's no azivas achet. In a chosebo, there's no azivas achet. This is the Rambam, famous Rambam. L'mau domer lo'odem shtov v'sheretz biyodo she'afil tov v'chomei b'shabod l'blos lo tefilo. Yeah, person goes to a mikveh with a sheretz, right? He go into the Atlantic Ocean, submerge himself. He's holding on to that sheretz. The tumah is not released from him. No, charota alone is not enough. You have to have azivas chet. You have to let go. That you're not going back there. Zorko miyodo. He threw it away. Came shetovo barbom. So he doesn't need maybe shabolam. He doesn't go into the ocean. 40 saw. Miyar oslo tefillah immediately. Shenema modeh v'ozev yirucham. Vomen nisa levaveno kapayim el kel b'shamayim. It's what is nisa? What's the raya from that pasuk? When you're fully consumed by that, that's when you have relevance to that. Yeah, that's aziva. Ima kapayim tzorch lisa halev l'shetlaim klom sheyasum el kukulo. You're fully removing yourself. Omdu b'tfila moridin l'fnei atevo zokin. Ton rabona omdu b'tfila api sheisham zokim chochem im moridin l'fonav hatevo elo odem harogil. No, we'll see. No, so Rashi says in the Mishnah because it's a similar. Unless a person's fluent in the tefillah, he has to be rogel. He has to be familiar with the liturgy. He shouldn't daven. That's he's saying. Afa pi sheisham zokin v'chochem im moridin l'ftevo elo odem harogil. Ezo rogil, Rabbi Yehuda metupel. We would say ve'eno, meaning he has metupel ve'eno. That means he has needs and he doesn't have. Right from the heart, metupel. He's overwhelmed ve'eno. Rega. Okay, ve'eno. V'yeshlo yigia basoder ubeisa reikom upirko noah ushval beirech umrutzalom. V'yeshlo niimo v'kolo orev. Uboki likros betar benvim uksuvim velishos b'midrash v'alochs v'agoros uboki b'chol habrochos kulon. Okay, these are the qualifications you need. So he has to be a pleasant personality, v'kol orev, sweet voice, and he's boki likros Torah nevim because you have to quote psukim from all over. It doesn't mean because he's such talm, but lishnos b'midrash v'alochos v'agoros ubok b'chol habrochos kulon. V'yor le Rabbonei nayu b'Rabbi Yitzchak Barami. He was the one. He met the qualification. Rashi says, "Merutza la'om noach lebrius maskimun letfiloso." They want he should be their representative. So Mar says, "Haino matupol ve'eno base ve'eno haidu base rekom." What's you're overwhelmed ve'eno? So that's base rekom, right? It's the same thing. Amrav Chizno zesh base rekom in avero, meaning he's overwhelmed financially. In addition, base rekom is devoid of sins. There's no sins in it. He's a perfect person.
Where you get this from?
Yeah. Pirko Noah. Rabbi Zeshlo Yotzalo Shem Rabbi Yalduso. Yeah, this Pirko No means that even as a child, nobody ever had a bad word to say about him, that he did Averos. Afil Shomer al Bachruso Hayono Belishum Shemra. That's the person. Hoiso li nachlosi ka'arye biyar. Nosnu olai bekolo al kainz nosio. My nosnu olai bekolo. Omer asuju batuvi omerav armi lo omerav chama bar lozo reshlesh lir tzibur. Yeah. Gomer lefneim esr varba brocho shmona esrei shebechol yom mosav alav. This is the Mishnah. See, the 18 plus 6. Hani sheish sheva havyon kednan al shvius omer. Orcham Ram Oretz, Rav Nachman Yisrael, my Shvius La Rucha. Ketanya Begoel. Okay, I have to stop here.